Hi community, Celia Faye Meisel here, business strategist and sales trainer with an emphasis in mindset and productivity. This week I have a special edition of the weekly live video series, and I am going to walk you through a special mini training where you are going to design your very own 6-week quarantine business plan. And the value of going through this process is to identify a couple different possible outcomes, both the best case scenario and the worst case scenario, and then identify what those might look like and the associated action steps with each, so that no matter what happens externally, you are able to come away with a clear plan and ensure your own business and personal success. There are many things in the world that can't be controlled right now. So how you take action and how you set yourself up for success will determine the outcomes that you see in the near future and in the coming months. And my intention is to empower heart-centered entrepreneurs to connect with your clients and to have a clear understanding of how to get there and what needs to happen to create success. So I am going to share my screen with you, and then we will get started with creating your quarantine business plan. So the first step is to identify today's date 6 weeks from now. So what is the date 6 weeks from now? Because that's your target date that you are working for. And then what you want to do next is identify both the factors that are in your control and the factors that are beyond your control, with specifically the quarantine and how it relates to your business. So factors that are in your control: you can market your business, who your ideal client is, your offers. Other factors that are in your control: your website, things in your business that you own, your email list, your contact management, your space at home. Specifically with business, just what are those things that you are in control of that you can take action on? And then also the factors that are beyond your control. So what are those factors? That can be the quarantine. We don't know when the quarantine is going to end. The virus, we don't know what's going on with that. Business closures. Even if you own a business, you may not have control as to when those open or close if you have an in-person brick and mortar business. So just identifying the factors that are in your control and beyond your control relevant to this situation is beneficial to get clear on those next steps. So then we identify both the best case scenario and the worst case scenario. All right, so let's go ahead and start with best case scenario. What happens? Well, for example, quarantine ends in 2 weeks and you are able to have a flood of brand new clients. You're able to get out and start networking again and book your talk that you had planned and launch that talk. And just everything goes according to plan, and you're able to make sales as normal and nothing really impacts your business. You're just able to go back to business as usual. So you can paint that picture. I just gave a very generic example, but what happens for you in your particular business and your best case scenario? And so you can write that out as detailed and descriptive as possible. And then as a result of this best case scenario happenings, what action do you take? What do you do in your business? What happens as a result of this best case scenario coming to fruition? So it could be that you go and book more talks, or you go plan a tour that you were going to do, a speaking tour, or you are able to launch a new program. It's really, again, unique for you and your business, but as a result of this best case scenario, what happens and what actions do you take? So you could give yourself 15 to 20 minutes just to journal and reflect on that, if even longer, okay? And then worst case scenario, what happens? We are in lockdown for 6 more months, let's just say, And as a result, you are not able to go out and network, and all of your talks for the year are canceled, and sales slow down. And again, these aren't things that we want, but we're exploring what does that best case scenario, that worst case scenario look like here. And then as a result, what happens? Well, because you're not able to network for 6 weeks or 6 months, you decide to take it all online. And so you book out as many online and virtual networking events as you can, and you start to book your talks online, and you just start to take everything online that you can. So obviously this applies more for somebody who's an online business owner who's also leveraging in-person networking to build their business. So as a result of this worst case scenario, what happens? What actions do you take? And you can spend 15 to 20 minutes exploring this as well. And again, the point of doing this, it feeds your mind information to know what to do if this happens, because you want to have a plan. This could also look like, you get a side job, maybe. So if you have to get a side job, so there are action steps as a result of that, right? You have to search for jobs, and then you have to apply for them. And then you have to have interviews. So within each of these scenarios, there are these associated results that happened and the associated action steps that you take. And you're able to create a clear plan for yourself no matter what happens, so that, let's say in 3 or 4 days, you wake up and there's a big update and we know that there's this big shift happening. Okay, let me go and operate now in best case scenario mode. Okay, let me go over here and operate and make a plan for this worst case scenario. So from all of that, now what we want to do is identify those immediate actions that you can and will take to ensure the best possible outcome, because it's in your action, your consistent intentional action taken daily, day after day, week after week, that makes a big difference. So if it's looking at the loans that are available and applying for loans and applying for relief, and if that route is applicable for you and your business, go and do that and take those actions and make a commitment to yourself that you're going to stick with it and do it every day, and not just one time and then hope that you can figure it out. It's that consistency of action that's taken over time. Some of my community members are now moving their businesses online. So what are those actions that you're going to take? So let's say, best case scenario, you're able to move back into your in-person office. And so you outline what happens. And as a result of moving back into your office, you're able to do X, Y, Z. Worst case scenario, you're not able to move back into your office. What happens? As a result, you take your business online, you make your offers digital, you start calling and contacting all of your clients and prospects and book online sessions. So some of this worst case scenario is actually could be what you need to be operating from right now, and you haven't started taking those actions to shift that result, because again, this worst case scenario can easily become best case scenario very, very quickly. Again, coming back here, what are the immediate actions that you're going to take? Because it's the actions and it's the clarity of action and communication and interaction that you have with other people that's going to start to make a difference in those results you're experiencing as well. So I highly recommend what you do is you set a timer and you work for 90 minutes to develop your customized quarantined business plan. If this is something that you need help with, if you go over to CeliaFayeMeisel.com/clarity, I have a free 15-minute call in there, and you can book in and just say quarantine business plan, and we can get on for 15 minutes and talk about your quarantine business plan. That's a no pitch call. So I will continue to bring more relevant content week after week. I hope that you take action and do the quarantine business plan for yourself and create that plan. Remember, we're just looking at the next 6 weeks. You don't have to plan 3 months or 6 months. It's just a short timeline and a short snippet of what needs to happen and what do you need to clarify in order to get those results that you're after, the positive results, and create a best case scenario no matter what happens in the world. Thank you so much for joining me, and I enjoyed connecting with you on this very special edition with your quarantine business plan. Until next time, I will see you soon. Bye.